YouTube now, and of course, all these great video shows with the artists. Yes, that we do. Look who's in the house next to me. Eddie Bowles in the house. Yeah, we're gonna have a great time, an interesting interview with Eddie right there, definitely tonight, today, wherever you are. But I want to say thank you to all of you for checking out the shows. Of course, we are. We've always and we are having a lot of great artists from around the world, all genres and age groups. We've had, I think, our youngest was a 8-year-old, yeah, and then a 12-year-old, a couple 16-year-olds, and it's oh my goodness, they are amazing how good they are. I mean, it's like I gotta pack my guitar up because I don't think I'm gonna ever play it again. It's not right, but it's a good thing. It's a good thing. So everybody, support these artists, and definitely, I've got people to thank though that do support these great artists out there, and they're wonderful people, and I want to thank them from the bottom of my heart for bringing artists to me to put on the No Cover TV podcast to get their story of music out there. Let's start on that list. And of course, Sandra, you're out there, aren't you, from De La Parra Entertainment? Sandra's out there on Zeus and Zeus Management, Legion Entertainment, Round the Clock PR, SBM Global Media, Kaipo Entertainment, and Adrian Ha Music Management. I think I got all so far. At least the list keeps getting better and bigger. Oh, yeah, it's something else. The music is wonderful out there. Yes. Now let me catch my breath. You know what I'm going to say next, my friends? What am I going to say next? My 3 favorite words. 3 of them. Support, 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 support these artists. Go to the shows, pay cover charge if there is one. Get to that swag table and get a CD, an album, a hoodie, a T-shirt, a keychain, a coffee mug, bumper sticker. Oh my, it goes on. And get to that stage, have a great time, enjoy the show, see if you can stick around and meet these great artists and see if you get an autograph. You just never know where they're going, and most of them are going right straight to the top of their music. Remember, these artists love doing what they're doing to put a smile on your face, and your smile kicks right back to them. Puts a big grin and smile on the artist's face. It's a great thing. Music makes the world go around. In the house today, Eddie Mall, how you doing, my friend? All the way, you're in the UK, aren't you?
Certainly am, yeah. Yeah.
So it's chilly over there and it's chilly over here because I'm in Michigan. So it's chilly over here. So Eddie Molnar is a singer-songwriter, and he's an amazing artist here. And we're going to talk about his music, and we might be able to get a song, maybe 2 out of him. We'll see how we can sweet talk him throughout the show. So Eddie, what have you been up to, my friend?
I've been up to a lot, actually. I've got I had released about 6 or 7 singles last year.
Okay.
Had a few good gigs as well. But I also play with a band called Adam and the Hellcats. They're very busy.
Okay.
There's the power of 6 in that band, and they're all very talented, and they're all very driven. So
okay.
That keeps me, and they're all a lot younger than I am. So
it makes you look good, right?
yeah, that's it. I'm leeching off their youth.
Right, exactly. We'll steal all we can. We need it. So before we get into your music, before we get into anything about music, I want to find out about you, Eddie.
Sure.
Now, let me ask the questions. Yeah, I'm going to get in your head because I know there's some things in there you're probably not going to want me to see, but we're going to find out. Eddie, come on. Let's go back when we were young kids, all right? 8 years old, 10 years old. You're listening to what mom and dad's playing on the phonograph or 8-track. Whatever your siblings might be listening to. What are they listening to, and what are you liking of what they are listening to?
Well, my parents liked stuff like country stuff and Jim Reeves and all that, and so, but also stuff like Elvis, and I think anything that had a good tune. They were brought up in the dance hall tradition, really.
Oh yeah, beautiful.
All that sort of music, yeah.
Okay.
And I remember we had his master's voice, an old radiogram thing, which was like a great big bit of furniture.
Oh boy!
And my mum used to play the piano as well.
Oh, really? Okay.
I've got a piano stool behind me here, or whatever.
It's a stool. That's great. Now, you're listening to that music. Do you have any siblings?
Yeah, I have a younger brother, 4
Younger.
years younger than me, and
Okay.
yeah, he's really some country sort of shepherd farmer type,
Is he?
and unfortunately, my dad died when I was 7 years old.
Oh,
Uh,
I'm sorry.
so that kind of it just blew the whole family thing apart. We had a little farmhouse and thing. Of course, we had to leave it, and
Sure.
it kind of just wasn't the same. It's like you grew. All of a sudden, I seemed to grow up at 7 years old.
Very fast. That
Yeah,
was
I did all the usual kid things, but I think behind it has I kind of felt more responsible than you would have done
true.
otherwise. So,
Very true. At that young age, when those things happen, I went through the similar situation. You see things differently. You grow up real quick. Oh yeah.
yeah.
What? So okay. So you're in school now. Did you take up choir in church or school or any musical instruments?
We used to go to church until but just sort of singing hymns and stuff until I was about 7, and then we moved. I remember at school we had some sort of big get together with all the schools singing stuff, and I remember that somehow I ended up playing the harmonica, which is so I suppose that was my first gig, but it's quite
Right.
interesting because I finished the tune, and then there was about 3 or 4 of us playing harmonica, and we finished, and then we heard people at the back finish about 2 seconds later.
That's great.
So it wasn't the best gig, I don't think.
So, okay. Now, did you mess around with music throughout junior high and high school at all, or no?
I never read music, never I just liked music, and I guess I had an ear for music. So
Sure.
I started picking up a guitar. Of course, there wasn't any videos or anything. So
Right.
I think my first guitar was a 12-string. My first acoustic guitar was
Wow.
about 16. And that's just because I went in a shop and I didn't know what to buy, and I thought it sounded nice.
It is pretty. Yeah. Well, now, when you got it at 16, how many years did you get to, I'm not going to say master it, but kind of figure it out to the point where it sounded good?
Yeah, still trying to master it. I guess I did. I remember a lot of parties. Well, I remember I was brought up in the country in Northumberland, which was very rural. So
Okay.
there would be nothing much happening on a Friday and Saturday. So you used to make something happen. So
Right.
go and build a fire somewhere, or go to someone's house and stay over and stuff. So, I guess I was playing tunes back then.
Okay.
Was and just make up stuff really, and went along normally with about the same 3 chords.
Right.
Uh,
Okay, now Eddie, we both grew up in the '80s. Now, did any of that nice metal music? Did you like any of that, like Van Halen, any of that stuff?
I saw amazingly diverse music when I was
Yes, it was.
because, like I say, I was in the countryside, so we used to go to whatever sounded exciting. You just didn't have much choice. So sometimes I saw one of the first superstars of his music superstars, a guy called Jimmy Shand, and his band, who was playing accordion at he just used to turn up and play with all the local musicians because he'd been going about the 1930s, And this guy used to travel about from Scotland with his with a motorbike and sidecar,
Okay.
he'd been to Australia. He toured Australia in the 50s and 60s, and
Wow.
been all over the place. So he was, dance hall.
He was known. Okay.
But then also there was some a little local folk music. There was a little band that was made up of a guy playing Northumbrian pipes, which I also used to play, and a fiddle player with a finger missing, and a harmonica player. And and then there was also a guy from Lindisfarne, a band called Lindisfarne that you might have heard of because they had some big hits, certainly over here, #1 albums.
I might have heard the music.
Folk rock band, but he used to arrange folk nights at this local pub, and all the big musicians like Ralph McTell and all these other people who were really big singer-songwriters, they used to drop off and play.
Wow.
And while that was all going on, my heart was in rock and roll, so I saw like AC/DC a lot of times.
Nice.
And bands like, I remember seeing Frank Zappa was amazing in 1980. And Sensational Alex Harvey Band, which you might not have heard of. Also, like Rainbow. I never saw Deep Purple, but I saw all the spin-off bands like the Ian Gillan Band.
Okay, right.
Rainbow,
yeah.
All those sort of guys. So I loved all that sort of, so really very diverse music.
Right, okay. All right, well, now let's jump ahead a little bit here because now what you're working on now, this project, the Eddie Mole project, is a little bit different than, metal or rock and roll like that. You got an alternative rock country. You got your own sound. I mean, it's great. I love it. And you have a band, don't you?
I do, yeah. Yeah.
3-piece, right?
Well, it can be 4-piece, or it can even be 5-piece. It's very much a band of friends. So, and I'm really lucky now that I've been playing sort of around and playing my own stuff for quite a while. So,
right.
I have a steady sort of drummer, bass player, also plays double bass and stuff, and a guitar player. But then I'll play with anybody that wants to join in. If somebody wants to do harmonies or do other things, and I just feel really blessed that I'm at that stage now where I think you get to that stage where musicians want to play with you. And I think I'm at that stage now. So if there's something coming up, I'm quite happy to play solo in a duo or whatever. So I'll just make it up as I go along, really.
When you started in 2012, I guess 2 questions here. Why did you start back up?
Why did I start back up? Well, I sort of I almost left music totally in the late 80s. When I was about 25, I had an uncle died, and I suppose the last musical intent I showed was he left me about 500 quid, which was a lot then. So I went out and bought a Strat with it, because I'd always wanted one. I'd never been able to afford one. And I got this Strat, and I really didn't like it very much. Just wasn't my type of instrument at all. And I didn't sound like Jimi Hendrix or all these other people. So it went into the loft for years. And then in about 2012, my son was sort of having a bit of a rough time, because I've got a son and a daughter. And I gave him a lecture, and I was going, he was going, I'm not very good at it. And I was going, you've got loads of talents,
Right.
And then I sort of came off the phone, and I thought, I don't really use my talents. I've got that guitar upstairs. So I went and got it out of the loft, and the case was a bit rusty.
Okay.
I don't believe it. I've had it all this time, and the thing's got it's ruined. And I opened it up, and the guitar was pristine inside. So
Oh,
I just sold it. I sold it and got something I liked, and just went
okay. Okay.
So
Nice.
yeah. So and I think the thing was I thought my talent was really songwriting. I was quite. I don't know if it was the result of what happened when I was younger and things like that, but
Sure.
suffered terribly from anxiety and sort of. I suppose I don't have much faith in what I do, so I really wanted to play bass and write songs.
Okay. Well,
I did that in 2 or 3 bands, but then the bands keep falling apart, so I ended up doing it myself. So.
well, I'm glad you went, down that road to do it yourself and do it your way. Give yourself a big pat on the back, Daddy, because you deserve it. You kick ass, brother. You really do, man.
I'm a bit of a late developer, really.
Well, that's all right. That's okay. We're ripe and fine, just fine. So now, that's good. Well, when you started back then, I'm sure you just started out by yourself acoustically. When did you start putting the band together?
I guess after that, so that would probably. I wrote a lot of songs that for other bands, like about 3 other bands.
All right.
In about it would be about 2000 and I don't know 2016 or something like that. I just
Okay.
I was going to play myself, and I went and played as you did, and got good reception. Then sat down. I thought. It was a guy, a friend that was arranging the gigs, and I went, "How was that?" And he went, "It's great. Why hadn't you done it before?"
All right.
I don't know. So I think after that, I still hear much as when I'm recording something, I still hear other instruments and things playing as well. So therefore, I'm more comfortable with harmonies and a band and things.
Okay.
That's how I want it to sound.
Nice.
That's what I mean. There are songs that work alone, but most of them are. I would prefer to hear them with a band. So,
Sure.
yeah. So
Okay.
that's how I ended up sort of playing with other people, really.
All right. Now, before we get any further, Eddie, can you tell people out there where they can find your music and all about you and everything?
Sure. Well, I've got quite a distinctive name with Eddie Mole. So I think you'll find it all over the place. I'm on Bandcamp. I'm on also a lot of my music. I'm now actually putting on Spotify and places like that because I just couldn't see any alternative really. And I'm also on Reverb Nation. If there's something interesting happening, I put a post on Facebook and on Instagram and things like that. I haven't quite embraced TikTok and things like that.
Me either.
Yeah.
Good deal. So you can check out Eddie out after the interview, which you're not going to be disappointed because how about Eddie? Can we get a song out of you right now?
Yeah, you can. I should say YouTube's quite a good one because I've also had some people do me some nice videos, which is
good deal. All right, well, let's get a song out of Eddie Mole. You're going to enjoy this from Eddie.
Sure. Well, I guess I should say a bit about this one, really. It's a one that goes down well for people that know my stuff. They seem to like it, and they normally get a waving at the end. But it's I'm not sure what it's about, but it's I like it. I think I wrote it not long after my mum died, and I didn't realise it at the time, but I think it's got some resonance there because I mentioned she played the piano.
Right.
When I was talking about that at a funeral, nobody else knew, and I thought that's just weird. How come? Because the older generation had sort of disappeared. My younger brother couldn't remember, so it's just
wow, that's strange. So, yeah. Here's Eddie.
So this one's called Dead Bird.
Dead Bird.
An unusual subject for a song as well.
Mm-hmm.
dead bird lies still on the ground. Feathers and bones lying all around. While the rest of his friends fly high in the clouds. There's a boy by him with a stick. He's found the dead bird and he's poking at it. He doesn't understand why this bird doesn't fly. 'Cause this bird used to fly and soar around the sky. They used to sing out loud and fill the air with sound. But now it's all a dead, just a dead bird. Dead bird was once full of life. Hey, maybe had a mate, maybe a wife. Soared the thermals way up high, surveyed the earth with eagle eyes. 'Cause this bird used to fly and soar around the sky. They used to sing out loud and fill the air with sound. Now it's just a dead bird. So here's a song for you, dead bird. A musical memorial for a dead bird. I hope his spirits high, way up in the sky. Way up in the clouds, celestial bird noise all around. This is a song for you, dead bird. A little hymn for a dead bird.
Beautiful animal in the house with that bird. I love that. And of course, my mind, the imagination is going wild. I'm seeing a bird just flying through the house, probably pecking you in the head or something. Oh, that's great. Thank you, Eddie. That's great. Okay, now 2012. Okay, you've been doing it 13 years. You must have quite a few songs under your belt. How many singles have you put out?
Well, they're in different names. I mean, there's like altogether there's I think about probably 45, 50 songs that are sort of registered. And
wow. No, okay.
But I've personally I've done there's probably I don't know, about 25, something like that altogether.
Wow.
So I think I just keep they just keep coming the songs, and I hear something, and I don't know if you listen to the recent ones, but there's not two the same. They're all totally different about random things. They normally comes from from words,
Right.
I've got songs about all sorts of things, about a sort of a creepy dog. I've got songs about sandwiches. I've got love songs. Sometimes, so if I do something that's a bit off the wall or a bit wacky, then I try and follow it with something that's more
That's
mainstream.
cool. Well,
I'm not a total loon. I have,
that total. I mean, the one song I liked was "Dismember Me." I do like that.
I think that's probably the only song I've heard about dismemberment.
There we go. Oh, great song, instructional, everything.
I had there was I was in a band that lasted one gig. We had a singer who she looked amazing. She was like Marilyn Monroe, and she sang that song. She had the black dress on, and the
Really?
button, and it was original music, and she had the audience in the point of in the palm of her hand.
Right on.
Everybody was like, and she introduced it about, this is a love song about dismemberment. She said.
Dismemberment.
Well, basically, I should tell the viewers that it's about sort of sending bits of your life to someone so they can whisper in it, when they're somewhere.
Oh, all ready to take home to mommy. Wow. That's wonderful. Oh, wow. Now, have you been playing out a lot?
Probably not that much. Probably a couple of times a month. It's still, since 2020, it's still been hard to get gigs.
Yeah.
And the competition is really, really hot. But from that point of view, that hasn't stopped me, because I've been spending more time writing stuff in the studio and things. And then, of course, the band that I'm in's playing all over the place. So so that suits me great. I sort of contribute a song to an album or something, and then basically I don't need to worry about the promotion or anything. Like, they pick me up at the door and they drop me off. Look at the old guy,
That's real good. Now, where you live, do they cater to the original music scene? Is there places to play or anything?
Well, there's some really good places. There's some really good venues. A lot of them. There was quite a big sort of club and dance and trance scene here. So kind of, I don't think that the band scene has ever sort of re-emerged from that. When people wanted to go out again, they just wanted to go out and have a sort of thing. So I think it's probably easier for cover bands. So
it is.
Yeah, so I've been aiming to try and get the odd festival spot, which is still tricky to get those sort of things, because there's so many.
There is. You're a bass player, right?
That's it. Yeah, I love playing bass.
Playing bass. All right. Well, there's three styles of playing. You got slapping, picking, strumming. What do you do?
I'm sort of pick and fumble.
Pick and fumble.
I sort of hit things with my other hands. I've developed it myself. Yeah.
Eddie's own pick and fumble style. We're gonna get that patent. That's wonderful. I like that. Oh my goodness! Now, how often do you go in the studio, my friend?
Basically, I try to do something every year. I try to have some new stuff to come out. So,
Yeah.
I've got a really good way of working with the studio. I've got a really good relationship that I've had with the studio probably for about 10 years now.
Oh,
And
great.
I know the tech really well, and
Well,
developed it, and he kind of understands me, and work great together. Charlie, 13 Sound Studios it is, but he, from that point of view, I've worked out a really economic way of doing it as well. I think as soon as you get a whole band involved, it gets really complicated and really expensive. So I tend to do a lot of the stems myself.
okay.
And then if I need to do that at home, and then I don't bother trying to get the final sound. I just try to get them correct. And then I get Charlie, and he's the person with the amazing array of doors and things that can make it sound good. And then I maybe get a drummer in. But all the other stuff, the vocals, the bass, the things, I prefer not to play the bass on my solo stuff because I feel it gets a bit one dimensional because I probably play the bass in the same style that I play the guitar.
That could be, yeah.
Whereas I've got a friend who's a really good bass player, and he plays. You can hear some of his double bass on the more recent stuff, and some of the board bass and things.
Okay. Yeah.
And he quite often brings a different dimension with the drums than if I tried to do it all myself. So,
okay.
Yeah.
Let me shoot this out there. Been doing a while, sound great. Anybody helping you with PR? Anybody looking at you label wise?
Not that I know of label wise and things. I've sort of been paying for some distribution for with Sound Labs that have been very good as well. Again, I've done that over because I've been with them before. They give me a reasonable deal, and it keeps it going. Got this gig with you through that, I think, and one or two other things. So it just keeps the music out there and all over the place. So otherwise, it's just there's so much white noise out there now. It's just,
well, there is. Whoa.
Yeah.
Tremendous. Okay. Let's get off the music for a minute and let's have some fun. I got some fun questions now, all right?
Okay.
All right, let's see where we're gonna go. Now, have you been able to play on the bigger stages?
I would. I got a few big stages. We headlined hard. I'm talking about Adam and the Hellcats at the moment. The current stuff is we sort of headlined the second stage on the Friday night at Hard Rock Hell, and in Great Yarmouth, which was a big deal for us, and had a fantastic. It went really well, really blew. The whole place was ready to go. It was last hour, and everybody was ready for a good time, and that was great. And on the back of that, I'm going to Ibiza at the start of April to play some gigs there. So that was my first gigs abroad, really.
Right.
But myself, I've played. I've played quite a few sort of medium-sized festivals, nothing really big, sort of the £5,000 mark, things like Rodney Gathering.
What do you like? What would you prefer better? The smaller venue where people are right on top of you, kind of intimate, or you kind of like a bigger stage where they're out there a little ways?
I prefer both listening to and playing music. I like the more intimate gigs when I'm by myself.
All right.
I mean, up to about that size, that sort of 5,000 size, that sort of medium size is really good. You can still see all the audience and
right.
and involved. So it's It's good.
Okay. Well, let's say we're on the bigger stage. You're in front of that bigger crowd. When you walk up there, you get a little jitters, get a little nervous.
I no.
No.
I get the jitters before I walk on, really. And I think I've been doing this for a while now, and I used to like suffer from anxiety and stuff
Sure.
and things like that. But once I get on stage, there's nowhere to go.
No, you're
That's
not.
not from that point of view. I just go with it. And also, I've made enough. I used to, every gig I got up, I used to be really nervous about making a mistake until
All
I
right.
made a mistake. And then after I made the mistake, it was like, well, the earth didn't open up. And,
You're right. They don't just swallow you.
yeah. So now, from that point of view, now I don't really worry too much about that. You know, people, that's about live music. It's never
Right
going
on. Okay. All right. Well, let's get to this next question. Two answers on this one, and these are people. Person alive, person passed away. Since you were a little kid, Eddie, who have you always wanted to step on the stage and perform with?
Wow, that's that's got me. Yeah. I don't know. I would quite like to play with. I'd like to quite like to play bass with Garbage. With the band, I've seen Garbage, and they were a big influence. So I'd quite like to do that. I think that if I was going on, if it was solo, I'd probably like to go with another vocalist, but nothing jumps out. At the moment, but yeah. So,
Okay.
does that help?
Right. All right. Let's go. Two answers. What's that?
I would like to sing. I would like to sing Deadbird with a really good vocalist or whatever.
Yeah. Heck yeah.
At a festival, that would be good.
That'd be cool. That would be cool. All right, two answers on this question. I want you to think around the world. All right, think around the world. Two stages you've always wanted to perform on that you haven't yet.
Oh wow. Well, I only really know the ones in the UK, so I've not been. So I can't really. I'd like to play some of the big festivals in the US, preferably with friends. I've got we toured with Hearts and Hand Grenades a few years ago, and I really enjoyed that whole tour. So I'd like to drag them with me if
Sure.
I'm sure they get big enough festivals anyway. But
right on.
I like to be with friends. Like I say, I'm quite a shy person. I need somebody to show me the way to the stage. So, I suppose, somewhere like Glastonbury, I've not played. So, I'd quite like that, but I would quite like to play it about 15 years ago rather than
15 years ago, right? There we go. 15 years ago. I love it. All right, now I'd like to hear the answer to this question here. Now let's go back on the big stage, and you've been there. Let's think back to a big performance you've done, and it went great and everything. But when you first got up there and all you started playing, and the crowd started moving towards you closer and moving around and maybe dancing, hell, I don't know, but maybe they were singing your songs back to you. How did it make you feel in your heart, Eddie?
That is awesome. That's a bit of that's a real moment.
That is
when you suddenly realise that people know your stuff.
Yeah.
When you've been playing your own stuff, and for ages now, I see you up against the cover bands and things like that.
Yeah.
Then it's and I remember initially. I used to go, well, was it any good? Because you'd not get much of a reaction. I used to be in a band as well called the Angry Badgers. Which
Angry Badgers, all right.
rock band, and we used to play we played some quite big festivals with them, and that were all my songs. And we'd get to the we'd get up and play, and people would watch.
Really?
Jump up, and they'd be jumping about otherwise, and he was thinking, did they like it or did they not?
Right.
We had quite a good following, and I think we were just a different type of band. We were the type of band you'd listen to, you know.
Right on.
And we had a lot going on visually as well. So it was,
cool. Good deal. So Eddie, we're counting down here. Think we get one more song out of you and a couple more questions?
Sure. What sort of song would you like? Would you like a happy song or
War Pigs?
War Pigs? I'll just hit the distortion pedal.
Surprise me, Eddie. You asked.
What should I? Well, it's a bit of a cheap, a cheap really, because it's No Covers TV, but this one's kind of based around Sweet Jane.
Okay.
By Velvet Underground, and I wrote a couple of verses when Lou Reed died, because I really liked. What I liked about Lou Reed was he said whatever he thought. And from that point of view, I was always a bit nervous about doing stuff. And I thought, well, if you can write that, then you can put anything in a song. So it's quite influential. So I was sad to hear his demise, really. But this is, and it's about the music business as well, really. So.
All right, let's do it, Eddie.
Yeah. Do. Da da da. Sitting in the corner with my head in my hands. Seems a good time to think about the death of the man. He taught me to say, hey, what I think, and not to try and understand this crazy world. So now I'm writing reams of poetry that take me forward and never back. Forward, never back. Sweet Jane, Sweet Jane. So I'm standing on the corner with my guitar in my hand. Seems time to think about, hey, the death of my band. Who are pulled apart by forces that I really just don't understand. Hey, all those egos and those attitudes, those who won't, those who don't, or who can. Sweet Jane, sing it. Sweet Jane, Sweet Jane. It's a crazy art reality, a path through musical dreamlands, full of crap and marketing, in which everyone gets scammed, in which lies are whispered in every singer's ears, and art gets squashed and canned. But it really doesn't matter anyway, because the path was never planned. So you may as well enjoy the trip. There's no other reason to take it. And if you want to be part of it, no, you probably won't make it. But if you want to come on down, know that you can make it. Oh no, you know that you can take it. No, no, if you wanna make it. Down, bow, 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 bow. Sweet Jane, Sweet Jane, Sweet Jane.
Sweet Jane. Oh, hey, Mo, my friend, thank you. And that's a great song.
No
Oh, boy, I hear this ringing in my head all night long now.
Well,
That's not good.
It sat there for about. I wrote a couple of verses to it, and I was really quite sort of like sad. And then I suddenly realised it was 10 years since he died, and I thought, oh, I better release that. Otherwise,
Right, yeah. Well, it's a catchy song, that's for sure. Hey, Mo, I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart for coming on the podcast, my friend. Thank you very much.
Well, thank you. Thanks for having me. Yeah.
Well, all right, a couple more questions before we get out of here. Let's go 5 years down the road. Where do you want to be with this music?
Do you know, I'd like to be doing the same sort of thing that I'm doing at the moment.
Nice.
That's great. It's great. I feel that I've reached the stage where I've kind of got freedom to do what I want, and I can write songs about whatever I want. I've got great friends to play with. I'd obviously like I'd like to play more festivals and more gigs and things with my solo stuff. But I mean, like I said, I enjoy being in the Hellcats. So as long as that continues, that's amazing. So, yeah.
That's great, my friend. You're going to go far. I see it definitely going far. Definitely. Now, this last question for the little ones out there, the kids. You got any advice for them out there that want to do what we do?
Yeah, the advice that somebody gave me a while ago, a local really talented songwriter called Rita Lynch, and I was chatting to her, and she said, just keep playing. Just if it's not going right and things like, just keep playing. She said, play till your fingers bleed. She said.
There you go.
And I think from that point of view, you know, if it's in you, don't worry about. I'm not saying don't worry about the social media and don't worry about, because it's all important. You've got to you've got to have everything, but at the same time, just keep playing.
That's right. Just keep playing.
You can bounce off them or go over them or go under them. You just never know what might turn up, or you know. So yeah. That's
right. This is we're at the end of our show. It's your show. Anybody you want to say hey or hi to out there?
All my regular bandmates, sort of and sort of Adrian, Pete, and Simon, and also. I guess just anybody who's tuned in, thanks very much for tuning in, because that makes all the difference. No, if there's nobody listening to time, so it keeps you going. So thank you very much, and thank you for picking up on my music, because
great stuff, Eddie. Great stuff. All right, Eddie, we're gonna get out of here. Tell everybody peace. We're out of here. Bye, everybody.